Hey everyone, and you're welcome to this Ask Me Anything. Now, Jennie is set up a one-to-one to ask me anything. So I think we'll just kind of get down to it. And I'm going to take my notes as ever. And this helps me to really kind of channel through and be very present and actually really listen to what you need and also all the things around it. So I just need to ask you some basics. That's where we start, and it usually kind of leads us to where we need to go. So how old are you, Jennie?
I'm 51.
51. Okay. Any broken bones?
No.
Okay. Any medication?
HRT
HRT? Any operations?
in the last 5 years or ever?
Ever?
Ever, yeah. 2015, I had an operation that was like life-saving. I had a flesh-eating bacteria and I was literally dying. Um, my organs were starting to shut down and my lungs collapsed and they were trying to kind of, I don't know, resuscitate me really. So I don't know exactly what the operations were, but they opened me up 4 times in 2 weeks and saved me.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah.
how long did that take for all that to kind of culminate?
For the flesh eating bacteria to kind of attack and bring me down. The first kind of indication that I felt unwell was in late June. I fell off my bike, I banged my coccyx. And after that, I started to have a light bleed. And kind of throughout the summer, I kept getting really bad pain. And I was going to my gynae and she scanned me. And then she thought maybe it was the coil. She took the coil out. But progressively throughout the summer, it got worse. And actually, I managed to hang on in there till the 23rd of October. And that's when I was taken off a plane in a coma. It just literally got progressively worse. So my body just shut down.
A lot of stress for the body there. Wow.
Oh, a lot of stress for the body, yeah. And when I came out of hospital, then, I'd 3 weeks in intensive care, another 3 weeks in the high dependency unit. And when I came out, like I was literally 6 stone of skin and bone.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I spent 2 years really looking after myself. Actually, for 2 years, every 2 weeks, I had acupuncture done to rebuild my organs. And I really, like, believe it or not, I came back to my full health, you know.
Yep. Yeah. So that was in 2015.
15,
So,
yeah, October 2015.
and
Yeah,
then you were up then to 2017, 2018, to kind of have your rehab and get back
yeah.
to your full health. So where did things go after that?
On the same day, on 2017, I was in a head-on car collision. Um, a, a drunk driver drove on the wrong side of the road into me at 4 o'clock in the day,
Wow.
and I had broken ribs and whiplash. That's my lucky day.
Okay. And so you were convalescing from that then
Yeah. Well,
until,
the biggest outcome of that, Joanne, believe it or not, was actually post-traumatic stress.
yes.
That I think it must have triggered what I was. Everyone kept telling me I was going to get after the flesh-eating bacteria, but I was just so grateful to be alive. I didn't have any depression or any signs of stress anyway. But when the car crash happened, I'd say probably it was the idea that it took me 2 long years to fight to get back to my health, and
Hmm.
it was unraveled within minutes.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't even like I was conscious that I had post traumatic. I didn't actually even realize I had it until about the March. I was um in work and I was checked my diary to see where I was meant to be, and I looked like I had a clear diary, so I went to the hairdressers. And when I was sitting in the hairdresser, somebody rang me. I was meant to be somewhere very important, and I realized I was losing my grip on reality. So I went to the doctor then and realized actually I was way, like, totally depressed and not well.
And then what happened with the doctor?
So the doctor prescribed me antidepressants, which really helped me get from the hole I was in up onto a ledge that I could reach out for other tools that I knew would help. And I started counseling. Um, I probably started back with therapy because I know I had gone to therapy when I came out of hospital to see if I had anything upsetting me, but I didn't. So I went back to that same person for therapy.
And then that takes us probably into COVID
Yeah,
and lockdown.
yeah, yeah. And you know, I really enjoyed COVID from the point of view of just having downtime, creative time. Um, I was living with two of my children at the time who are both mothers, so their kids were living with me as well. So I was really, I suppose I was kind of glad in the sense that I could help them parent through that and get through that really. Because I'm sure to me, I kept thinking, right, I'm this age. I mean, it's nice for me to be home and doing the garden, but at that age, I wouldn't have I don't know how I would have coped.
Yeah.
Like 19, 20, 21, you know, that age, that the
Mm-hmm.
outdoor life is your world. And of course, they had babies. Their daddies didn't live with them, so they're all that access. There was a lot of struggle. So, yeah, I didn't really. I think as well, and anyone that's watching this, when you've had such a near death experience, like even when I was in the head on car collision, I never once flinched. I just remember thinking, this is going to hurt. But it never crossed my mind it was going to take my life. And it was kind of the same with COVID. I was just like, you kind of feel infallible when you've come so close to death and you survive it, you know? So
Yeah.
it didn't affect me emotionally negatively.
And so tell me what's happening now. So we kind of fast forward to now. So what called you to kind of submit your ask to anything? What drew you to having a one-to-one?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. Me and my friend kind of have this running joke. Since we hit 50, like the bodies just went, here, come on, you know? So menopause, like literally kicked in the week I turned 50. And like that definitely has its challenges, but I think like apart from anxiety, that's the big symptom I have from menopause. The other thing that really, I suppose, stops me in my tracks, excuse the pun, is my feet. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't feel the suffer of my feet. And I am I love my style. I love to wear like high shoes and boots, but that's like very, very rare. That's only if I'm going out. And even then I'd have more comfortable shoes in the bag, you know, that kind of way. So it's like even with the comfortable shoes, even with the inserts in my feet, even with me drinking ginger, I'm still like in most mornings I wake up and my feet are paining me, I'm like, okay, I'll have a soak in the bath before I go anywhere so I can physically walk, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that kicked in at menopause as well.
No, I think it's like as I'm aging, that's getting progressively worse, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe I've just made the connection now. Maybe I'm probably like a half a stone heavier since I hit menopause. So maybe the fact that I'm heavier is affecting them more. I don't know.
We'll
But
have a look. We'll have a look at that.
yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
what is happening there. We'll have a look at that.
yeah.
So anxiety, the feet pain, and tell me, how's your sleep?
I sleep like an absolute angel.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm blessed with the sleep I have.
And so
Really
when you say
good
menopause,
quality.
what are some of the other symptoms you are experiencing?
To be honest with you, I don't have any other symptoms. Like a bit of weight around the waist, you know, a bit more like around your tummy for sure, and PMT, you know, the week before, you know, when you're in your cycle, like the last week of your cycle, I just have like definitely moodiness and anxiety.
Okay. Okay.
But
So that got heightened.
that got heightened, yeah.
That got
Now, I never
heightened.
had any PMT before menopause. You
Okay.
know, I
But
wouldn't have even known, like, you know, but that's heightened. Now I have like I'm very aware of like what week I'm in. I'm like, oh, that's that week now. I'm at the stage where I say, no, I'm not making any decisions when I'm in this week because I just know that my mind is a little bit more. negative or judgmental.
That's very self-aware, being able to kind of connect in to your moods and into your body. So
Yeah.
tell me then, um, do you have any hot flashes?
No.
Okay, okay.
There's no
And
other symptoms, thank God.
would you say that you suffered with low energy?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so kidney is what I'm hearing a lot of here, and especially with the severe flesh-eating bacteria, and then with the car crash on top of that, there'd be a lot of kidney energy going on. So kidneys, they govern the bones, the marrow, the spine, the brain, the hormones, and the reproductive system.
Yes.
And so we have a kidney yin and a kidney yang. Unusual in the body that there are two organs for one organ, but we
Oh
do
yeah.
have two kidneys, and they're obviously at the back. And the spark in between the two kidneys is seen as Mingmen. And this energy is like the core energy of the body and feeds all the other organs. So it's a real kind of core stuff. So whenever we go through big changes in life, this kind of really, not necessarily drains, but it really calls on our reserves and it calls on our kidney energy. And the reason I'm asking about some of the symptoms, because menopause can either be manifesting as kidney yin or kidney yang menopause. Kidney yin menopause would be when the yin of the body is that cooling, that nourishing, that nurturing. So that would be some of the symptoms. You might get vaginal dryness, you might get more hot sweats, you might find that you're quite dehydrated, and there'd be kind of a problem sleeping. Whereas kidney yang, if you're low in kidney yang, you'd be suffering more from kind of chronic illness, fatigue, perhaps kind of low libido, low mojo, you know, that kind of get me up, kind of get me moving, get me lubricated and get me energized. That would
Yeah.
be more kidney yang. So we'll just have a look at some of the kidney yang foods. Do you suffer with kind of cold feet and cold toes at all?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So
I'd
yeah,
say
that
like if my body was cold, that would be the coldest part of me, you know.
okay. So there are many, many different foods, but the way this one-to-one session works is that I'm channeling stuff that is specific to you.
Yes.
Okay. So chestnuts, we're really coming into the season of chestnuts. Chestnuts are a really great kidney yang food. You think about how you cook them, you kind of soak them a little bit
Okay.
in some water for 20 minutes. You take them out and you score them. You know, you can buy them in the supermarkets, kind of coming up to Halloween and coming up to Christmas. You put a score in them, and then you can either put them in a frying pan, or more commonly, you put them in the oven for half an hour, and they will start to cook and expand. And when you open them, there's a beautiful, warming, steaming energy from them, and they're really comforting as well. They're a great kidney yang food. You can buy them already cooked and shelled, but I would say include a lot of those into your diet.
Okay.
So I can hear kind of the kidney being depleted, and sometimes anxiety can manifest from a few different things, but a common one would be when you've had your kidney energy is low, you've had post-traumatic stress disorder, you've been through the mill, which you had with the coma and then the car crash. So it's like you've got this adrenaline going through your body. It can be like a car that you've got too much petrol growing through it. So it gives manifestation in the heart. So you might get palpitations, you might get that kind of anxiety, but actually there's nothing wrong with the heart. It's that you've got too much adrenaline and too much cortisol going through the body. It's like you've got too much petrol going through the car, and it's like over revving. So the good news is that we can definitely do some points for that, and we'll see where it goes with the body. But we do have some lovely points for plantar fasciitis. So hopefully the body will guide us around. So I'm going to get you to kind of focus into the body. So first of all, just to kind of get ourselves limbered up, obviously, because I know you're in chi flow, so you know we connect to heaven and earth. And then I'm going to get you to split the body into 3 sections. So we're going to have the lower section, which is kind of like from the perineum to the belly button. The middle section, which is from the belly button to kind of the mid chest, just above the kind of sternum. And then the third section is going to be from here upwards. All right. So I'm just going to get you to section into thirds so that you're going to be able to just section the body enough to work out where your hands are going to go. All right. Is there anything else? Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you that I ask everybody. If I had a magic wand, what would you most like from this treatment?
Definitely that I could be relieved from the pain in my feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but even before we get into the treatment, I would also recommend that you buy some really good quality fish oils. Do you take fish oils? No. So what I want you to do is with fish oils, I don't like to overload the system. So it's best to take them for kind of like maybe a week to 10 days and then give it a break. And then maybe come back in another 2 or 3 weeks and take them for another week to 10 days. I like Wiley's, WILEYS something, Wiley's something, because they're wild Alaskan salmon. So they're not farmed fish.
Yeah.
And so they're still reasonable price to buy. You can buy them online. And so have a jar, take one of those and take them for 7 to 10 days. Too much fish oil and too much fats can really kind of weaken the liver and stagnate the liver. And I don't feel I want to have a lot of stagnation. I want to really kind of warm and build the fires and ease the blood flow. And the liver is really responsible for the free flow of blood and emotions. But it sounds like you have got a flow. I really kind of feel a flow from you with all these things, these ups and downs that have happened.
Yeah, I'd say I just have a natural resilience, maybe. I just, even when I was recovering, I mean, the doctors were like, they couldn't believe I walked out of hospital, and the same with the car crash, even that I walked out of the car crash, it's just, I have a great resilient, I think my constitution is resilient, you know. And of course, I look after myself. And one thing about coming that close to being that sick is you really respect your health. And so I'm conscious that, I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I do try. I do like look after myself. Yeah, for sure. I sleep really well, and I eat pretty well, and I move around a good bit. So, I mean, yeah, and I breathe consciously daily.
Yeah, I know that you've got some great stress techniques because I know that you've actually kind of taught us in Chi Flow with Joe. You've actually given us presentations on how to manage your stress. So I know that you do have all of a toolkit for the emotional resilience. Fantastic. And if anybody's interested in that, go and have a look at Jennie Cruz on YouTube and Facebook. So, and maybe what I'll also do when I put this up, I'll put some links to your the way that you support your emotional health.
Yeah.
But right now, this is all about you. So
Thank you.
what I want you to do is I want you to find a nice sitting place.
Okay.
And I know you know this with Chi Flow. So I want you don't have to sit cross-legged. You are better off kind of sitting with your back straight, so then you don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I want you to just kind of like sit where you're comfortable, so you can still prop yourself up. I want you to be comfortable, not kind of forcing anything in this, and just begin to rock. And just rock on your sit bones, and just let the body drop. Just let's begin to turn the muscles off. And any holding that we may have been doing in the day, we just let that go. turning the muscles off and becoming aware of the perineum. Deep down low, 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 right in the pelvis. Feel that perineum. Feel it getting warm and feel it melting and relaxing all through the pelvis. And you can just come to a stillness and just feel that warmth radiating and rising up through the body. And now take it up behind the belly button, behind the sternum, through the throat. Bring the chin slightly down to chest, elongate through the neck, and feel the top of the head being pulled up by an imaginary string. And feel it pulling you up, 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 nice and open. Feel like your skull is opening up from the inside. All the bones in the skull having a nice little bit of space. Feel the jawbone, feel some space in the jaw, some space through the throat. As that cord goes up, up, up through the clouds, up through the clouds, and out of the atmosphere. Take it up now, up through this night sky. Find the North Star. Imagine finding the North Star and plug it into the North Star. This is around the central axis point of the world. So let's draw the energy back down from the North Star through the top of the head, behind the throat, behind the sternum, behind the belly button, back down to the perineum. Feel this warmth opening the perineum as that cord goes through the chair you're sitting on, through the floor, and deep into the earth. Feel the Mother Earth below you as that cord goes through the many, many layers of the earth, deeper and deeper and deeper, denser and denser and denser, until we plug it into the center of the earth. Feel the perineum, and right behind the belly button, connected in with the center of the earth. Feel the weight of the body and the density. Feel right into the bone marrow. And draw the energy up from the center of the earth, and at the same time draw it down from the North Star. Bring it in through the perineum and the top of the head, and bring it down, 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 right to the lower dantian, which is just below and behind the belly button. Take your hands. We're just going to begin by rubbing behind and just below the belly button. Feeling this opening the perineum, opening the hips, allowing the blood to flow. Let the hands drop. And now let's just check into the body. Where would the body like the hands to visit first? It could be on the back of the body or the front of the body. It could be on the legs, it can be on the head, the shoulders, the chest, the torso, or the lower belly. The buttocks, the back, the skull. Feel the connection in the palms of the hands. Where are those palms of the hands being drawn to?
To my toes.
To your toes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a little rub of just one of the toes. Let's just rub the toes. Is there any toe in particular?
The big toe.
The big toe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's circle the big toe. And let's do a few points around the big toe. First of all, let's just rub the inside of the foot. This is the spleen meridian, right? Spleen 1 at the corner of the big toenail on the big toe. And come right on the instep of the foot. And we're going to start with spleen 4. So just find where the light flesh meets the dark flesh on the arch of the foot. And you should be able to find a kind of knobbly, bony process. Can you find that?
Yeah.
So just fall off that to the inside, towards the underside of your foot. So just falling off that very slightly.
Yeah.
And let's just have a little bit of a conversation with this point. And if you're to press on the point and imagine energy coming out of the end of the thumb, how does that point feel? Does it feel empty or full, hot or cold, tight or loose?
It feels full, feels hot and tight.
Hot and tight and full. Hot and tight and full. So we're going to disperse some of that heat. We're going to disperse some of that heat. And we're also going to use another point to go with that. And we're going to use spleen 6. So spleen 6, find the top of the ankle bone and 4 fingers above the top of the ankle bone in the middle of the inside. We're going to use spleen 6 and spleen 4. So I'm going to just hold spleen 6 and I'm going to rub the arch of my foot. And now I'm going to hold spleen 4. Imagine you've got kind of warmth and energy. You don't really have to imagine very much. You've got warmth and energy in the center of the palm. And now just use your thumb and use your energy to just kind of say hello to spleen 6. And tell me, how does spleen 6 feel?
Tender.
Tender. So let's have a little conversation with spleen 6. How would it like? Would it like to just be held? Just hold it until you feel the resistance, and then just imagine the energy coming to meet your thumb, coming to have a conversation with the tip of your thumb. And let's just hold here for a while and see if any thoughts come to mind, any memories, any images, any colors. We'll just leave the space open. And just massaging into spleen 6. You can rub into spleen 4. Tell me, how's the body feeling?
It feels nice and relaxed.
Is anything changing about the points? Just go and say hello to spleen 6 again.
Definitely the tenderness is gone.
Okay. And how are you drawn to press the point? Are you circling? Are you massaging? Are you just holding? What is the point asking you to do? How is it asking you to meet the point?
It's definitely asking me to sort of press, but not too hard, and just hold.
Press and hold, press and hold. So let's press and hold. Any other body sensations? Any other responses?
Earlier on, when I was pressing it at first, when it was tender, I could feel the shooting pain in the back of my neck, which is strange. You know, it was like where I had the neck injury from the car crash.
Uh-huh.
So it was like sometimes I get that shooting pain if I've been driving for too long. So it's like I got that when I was pressing the spleen point at first.
Okay. Okay. So we don't have to work it out. We can just be aware, and we say thanks to the body for making us aware that there's a connection between the feet and your neck.
Yeah.
There's a connection. And when you had the car crash, do you feel that perhaps you braced through your feet?
Yeah.
What was going on when you had the car crash? Because I know that you said, oh, this is going to hurt.
Yeah. But I was definitely braking, so I mean, probably my feet probably felt like they were going to go through the car, you know, in the sense of like, you know.
Yes, and maybe perhaps a little vulnerability.
Yeah.
So just feeling that kind of vulnerability. And you can do that. You can really kind of stroke the inside of the arch of the foot. Can you sense the vulnerability?
Yeah.
And tell me, how would the body like when you talk to the feet and really accept and hear their vulnerability? What would they need? What would they like?
Definitely warmth and to be held.
Okay. So let's give them all a lovely big massage. And you know where else we're going to go now? We're actually going to go to liver 3. So liver 3, I'm going to find by putting my index finger in between my big toe and my second toe. And that is kind of liver 2. And we're going to go over the lumpy, bumpy bit of the bone and still keeping on the webbing between the big toe and the second toe. I'm going to find liver 3 and tell me, still kind of holding that arch of the foot, connecting and giving connection to that spleen 4 point, just begin to connect into the liver 3 and tell me what's going on with the body and what's going on with liver 3.
That's such a sore point.
Okay.
It's like, you know, when a pain is so painful, it's almost itchy.
Okay. Okay, yeah. And itchy, often the itchy feelings I kind of put together with kind of nerve. Did you have any nerve damage with the car crash in your
Yeah.
feet or in your neck?
No, in my neck I did.
Okay. So let's just give a little bit of loving understanding to the nerve damage in the neck. And we're just doing that through the toes. Let's give a lovely press and hold, and tell me, when you press and hold into the liver 3, how does it feel? Solid, full? Sometimes it can kind of feel sharp, like a knife edge. It can feel skinny and stretched, or it can feel flabby. It can feel solid. There's loads of different ways the points can feel. Any words come to mind for you?
Yeah, definitely solid, like a little, as if there's a little solid ball bearing in there.
Interesting, interesting. So let's have a little conversation with the ball bearing. What color is the ball bearing?
Like obsidian.
Like an obsidian, so like a deep black.
Yeah.
A deep, beautiful black. Obsidian's very hard as well, isn't it?
Mm.
So when we talk to this beautiful, beautiful obsidian is so beautiful. So when we talk to this beautiful ball of obsidian, what would it like? What would it need? What would feel it glowing and nourished?
So this is going to sound wacky, but I'm going to say it. It feels like it's an eyeball, like a pupil of an eye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when you said, what's it need? It was like the first thing that popped into my head was to be seen.
To be seen. We see
Yeah.
you. We see you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. No, and nothing is wacky here. The subconscious gives us so many interesting cues all the time, but often we just kind of ignore them. They seem silly. This is a space where we let all those dreams to the surface. We let all those images to the surface. So we are aware of that eyeball.
Yeah.
We see that eyeball. And how does the point feel now?
It feels like since I was pressing it that the eyeball was kind of going in behind the bones
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I can't find the eyeball anymore.
Well, we just call out to it. Does it want to be seen? What is it hiding? What would it like to hide?
It's like as if it has dispelled and just a little bit of it. It's like, you know, the way you see somebody like looking around a corner, just a tiny little bit of it still remaining.
Okay. Okay, so we're just going to ask, does it need anything else more right now, or has it been seen enough? Does it feel seen enough for now?
Yeah. See, it's been seen enough for now.
So we're going to rub the feet. We're going to rub on the liver 3. We're going to massage through. So what I want you to do is I really want you to, can you see what I'm doing? I'm coming in and I'm massaging into kidney 1, right in the sole, right in the ball of the foot. So if I was to do that, I can make like a little dimple. And that is my kidney 1 right in the center of the ball of the foot. So what I want you to do is nicely, can you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of really massaging and pulling out then. So really stimulating that kidney 1 point, tapping the soles of the feet. In a very loving way. We've seen the eyeballs, so this tapping. Rub the foot, coming back up to the spleen 6. And where I want you to go now is kidney 3. So we're just doing a few of the major points down on the feet. And though these points, even though they'll be similar for everybody, they have a standard function with the intention that we have behind them. So talking through them can really mean that we're having a conversation with our body, and the way that the points will then move the chi will be unique to us. So spleen 6 that we did before and spleen 4 are very much about moving the blood, very much about kind of the mother and the nourishment. Liver 3 is really great for any anger or frustration, especially kind of if you have a lot of hot flushes and you're very hot up here. And kidney 1 is a great nourishing grounding point. So we're just finishing off on the foot there with kidney 1, just nourishing and grounding. Coming up to kidney 3, and we're going to do kidney 3 and kidney 7, because again, I'm wanting to build this wonderful kidney yang. So kidney 3 is in between the ankle bone and the Achilles. And then kidney 7 is about 3 fingers up from that. So what you can do is massage all the way up, just behind the ankle bone and the Achilles tendon. And then you'll feel that there's kind of like a groove going up the back of the leg. So you carry on with that groove. So when you press into kidney 3, how does that feel? How are you doing with kidney 3 there?
Kidney 3 feels hollow.
Kidney feels hollow. And how about kidney 7?
I'd say tender, definitely.
Tender. So let's try pressing the 2 of them together. And again, when I say press, you just come in to find the point of resistance and see if we can balance those 2 points. See if we can get those 2 points to have a conversation. Do they feel very resistant to each other, or do they feel like they are?
They feel like strangers.
They feel like strangers. Okay. Like strangers. Would they be turned away from each other, or would they just not be in communication?
No, they're turned away from me. Well, point 3 is turned away from point 6.
And what would point 6 stroke 7 need? Let's have a little conversation with that point. What would it need to be able to be seen by kidney 3?
Connection.
Connection. So let's make a little connection between those 2 points. Let's have some energy. Let's imagine some light and some color. Tendrils going from one point to the other. And can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And as you breathe into that and feel the connection, just sense the rest of your body. Where does that feel like that is? Is any other part of your body being affected?
Kind of feel it in my perineum.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was feeling, kind of like an opening up right through the pelvis, almost kind of like a pleasurable experience, which, remember, sexual energy is supposed to feel pleasurable. But when we feel tense and tight, especially the perineum, which is, you know, at the end of the vagina and the beginning of the anus, right in the middle, that $1 million point, when we have a lot of tension, that area there can be very, very tight. We can store and remember trauma. So let's just get these points connecting, talking to each other, and almost feel that $1 million point, exhaling and relaxing. Can you feel that?
Oh.
To feel that $1 million point, exhale and relax. And luxuriate in the feeling, the kind of ripple of energy, of good feeling energy that's rippling all the way through the kind of hips, sexual organs, pubic bone, ovaries, uterus, cervix. And take it back to the 2 points, kidney 3, kidney 7. Give them a massage.
How
are they doing?
They're great.
They're great. Well,
They're
you
like
know what?
now.
They're like lovers. That's what we like. Yeah.
My
Lovely.
toes on that foot are tingling, warm tingles.
Your toes are tingling.
Yeah, like a warm, tingly feeling. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, we've got another foot. Let's just ask if that foot is okay if we move to the other foot now. We just check in, give it a massage, see how that foot feels.
It feels lovely.
Great. So we keep
Really
that
good.
little romance going on.
Yeah.
And we just say, let the foot go and give thanks to that foot for having a chat and the points and really feeling the nourishment. We come over to the other leg now. And we're going to start in a similar way. So what I want you to do is just be rubbing the arch of the foot. Rub the arch of your foot and begin to feel a comfort. Rub right down to the toe, right on the inside of the toe, right up to spleen 1 on the inside of the big toenail. Find where the light flesh meets the dark and the knobbly bit, and let's just fall over there onto spleen 4. Do you find that?
Now say that again. The white meets the dark.
Yeah, the white meets the dark on the arch of the foot.
Yeah.
And then you find that kind of knobbly process.
Yeah.
That knobbly bit, and just fall off the knobbly bit closer to the arch of the foot. So you're kind of just underneath that.
Yes.
And so press into there. How's that feeling?
Now, that feels full, but it feels soft. It doesn't feel hard. You know?
And let's come up. Is there any other resonance anywhere else in your body? That as you press this point, any other part of the body gives a little bit of an
Yeah, like I can feel like a stretch across the top of my shoulders.
Okay. And let's find spleen 6 again. So find the top of the ankle bone.
Yeah.
4 fingers. And we're pressing just in the midline. So I'm not on the bone. I'm just behind that in the fleshy part. It's kind of as if you cut the leg in half right down the middle. And your 4 fingers above. How's that?
That's sore.
Okay, so let's go with spleen 4, which is kind of like the mother point. This is the point that's going to listen to spleen 6. So you're just going to how's spleen 6 feeling? How does it feel when you press into it? Does it feel tight and stringy, empty, solid, squishy?
Definitely like tender. Like I'd go as far as to say as if you have a wound in there, you know?
Okay. Okay, wounded. It feels very wounded. And how would it like to be pressed? Would it like to be held? Is it okay with the thumb? Would it like, what would it like? Would it like rubbing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a big, almost like all your hand rubbing it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's do that then. Connecting into this wounded point. Like it has a wound.
Yeah.
And let's just have a conversation again. Just very lightly making a connection. Hanging out with this point. Really letting this point, we know that we're not going anywhere. And ask again, what else does this point need?
Hmm.
Or
Like
even
heat. Looking for heat.
heat.
Yeah.
Heat. So
Yeah.
hold with the center of your palm. Hold with the center of your palm. We're going to really use the heel of the hand. And even I get a sense that I would use moxa. If you were here with me in person, moxa is mugwort, and it really kind of enters the points and warms the points.
Mm.
So what I'm going to suggest is that you make a tincture of rosemary, some oil. So take some rosemary essential oil and use 10 drops and put it into an egg cup where you've already put kind of a base oil of sweet almond oil, or even grapeseed oil, something that, or coconut oil, even if you can melt that. And
Mm.
I want you to add rosemary oil to that and
Okay.
rub it in. Actually, I withdraw the coconut oil. I don't feel the coconut oil is good for this point. I think it should be a sweet almond oil mixed with rosemary oil.
Okay.
And we are going to rub this on after this session. You're going to make a rosemary oil and use that on these points on the feet that we're doing now. So that you've got a little routine for your feet. You've got
Yeah.
spleen 4 and spleen 6. So let's again connect the two of these. So imagine you've got tendrils between spleen 6 and spleen 4.
Okay.
How are they doing? Are they conversing? Are they connecting?
They're conversing. They haven't connected yet, but they are
Facing.
facing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How's that?
Is it mad to say that some of the pain from 6 is now in 4?
No, no, absolutely not.
Because 4 wasn't a bit tender, and now it's like the same spot is like the same tenderness,
So we
but it's
just
not.
hold them. Sorry, Jenny, I talked over you there.
No,
What?
what you're saying, it's not in 6 anymore. So
Not in 6 anymore. Not in 6 anymore. So spleen 4, managing to hold it. And we see it in spleen 6. Anything that spleen 6 needs?
it's like spleen 6 is just waiting for 4.
Mm-hmm. So we just hang out with the points.
Yeah.
We just hang out with the points, hold the points, See the points. Give space for the points. To say anything, to give memories, to release from any other parts of the body.
Same thing going on with my neck. Like especially the place where I get migraines. So sometimes I drive too much since the accident. I get like migraines in the base. You know what's the occipital ridge.
Yeah, the occipital ridge. Yep. Okay, well, that is triggering me to move to the next point then, because a lot of points on the occipital ridge relate to the gallbladder, and the gallbladder is partnered to the liver. So let's go to liver 3. And liver 3, you find liver 3 you find by placing your finger in between your big toe and your second toe.
Yeah.
That's liver 2. Bring it over that knobbly knuckle, still in the webbing, and I'm into liver 3. So once again, liver 2 is where the big toe and the second toe meet in the webbing. Come over the knuckle and you're into liver 3. And what's quite nice sometimes is even if you put your foot on the floor.
Yeah.
Or you can also hold your kidney 1 point.
Yeah, they're nearly like either side of each other.
Yes. Yeah. So let's give these two a conversation. How's liver 3?
3 is okay on its own. When you connect it with liver 1 underneath, it feels like there's like a connection between them. Like a tube.
Like a tube. Like a tube.
Yeah, like like you'd see a thick veined artery.
So let's just massage the two of those together. Feeling the connection between that tube. And is there any blockages in the tube? Is the energy able to go from one to the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel very relaxed all of a sudden. Like super relaxed.
And let's ask these points, do they need anything? Or is this enough?
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
So let's rub the foot, massaging into kidney 1, opening the feet. And we're going to come up to the kidney 3 and kidney 7. So kidney 3 behind the ankle bone, in between the ankle bone and the Achilles, and then 4 fingers, 3 or 4 fingers up, you'll find kidney 7. So feel around into the point in that area, and you'll find a point that feels like it needs some attention. And we're going to bring that together with kidney 3. So kidney 3 and kidney 7, I find together used really well for any kind of big changes in life. Kidney 3 is a source, as in SOURCE, a source point for the kidneys. So see if when you press these, really kind of nourish that core of the body, those deep blue-black, that kind of color we want to nourish the kidneys. So again, pressing these 2 points together, find a connection. How do these points feel like they're relating to each other? Are they turning back to back, or are they facing each other? In your mind's eye.
Definitely facing each other.
Facing each other.
The same thing again. What I found 3 no pain. When I found 7, very painful. And yet, then all of a sudden, it's like this shoot kind of goes down to 3 and they're instantly connected. Do you get me? And then all of a sudden, 3 is painful now. You know, 3 and 7 are sore.
Okay. Well, we'll
Well,
just hang out with them and see what happens.
yeah. They don't like the rotating. They just like the gentle press and hold.
Yep. Press and
They
hold.
can't be
Just
facing each other.
they're definitely facing each other. And how about any obsidian balls on this foot?
No, this is like a little track, you know.
And let's ask these points. Let's ask these points.
Is it, can I feel a pulse in 3?
Yeah, that's great. So feel that pulse. Feel that pulse. That life force energy.
It feels like very alive and very active.
We're going to hold it and connect. Again, taking the perineum, feeling that joy, that vibrancy, that mojo. Contained in your body. Circulated in your body. Feel the circulation of that energy through the body. All through the pelvis, opening up the perineum, sexual organs, taking that wonderful vibrancy and warmth to the ovaries, the uterus, the cervix, the $1 million point, Hui Yin at the perineum. And feel that warmth really rising up to the kidneys, filling the kidneys full of warm, nourishing peace. Has the connection between those 2 points?
Lovely.
Should we just check into the feet? Anything else?
No, the feet feel lovely. Yeah, I feel great.
Okay, let's give a rub to those points. Rub the kidney 3 and kidney 7 points at the back of the ankle. Really good for menopause symptoms. Really good for kidney yin and kidney yang. Great if you've got hot flushes or can't sleep. Very much mirrored in the heart 7 and heart 6 points on the wrist. You know, you can see how this very much mirrors the wrist. Now stroking on the inside of the arch of the foot, being aware of the spleen 6 point and the spleen 4 points. And liver 3, kidney 1, giving the feet lovely bit of a rub, holding with the 2 points, connecting with the palms of the hands, feeling that tube between those 2 points on the underside of the foot and between the webbing of the big toe and the second toe. Feel the 2 palms of the hands filling that tube with real warmth. And now feel the tubes inside the kidneys filling with warmth. And taking the hands to the kidneys, taking the palms of the hands to the kidneys. And we're really nourishing the kidney yang, that wonderful warm life force. And feel that warmth entering and penetrating every single connective tissue. especially up through the neck and the shoulders. Feel the warmth through the back of the neck, the warmth through the throat. Feel it coming up the spine, over the skull, over the forehead, throat, down over the chest. Sweep your hands around and come to the lower abdomen, and warming the lower abdomen just below and behind the belly button. And with your eyes still closed, take your attention down through the perineum and the string that connected you to the center of the planet. Unhook and draw it up. Draw that cord back into the body, drawing with it all the Mother Earth energy, that complete support and unconditional love, the life that this planet gives us every day. Bring it back in, all that unconditional love, up through the perineum and just below and behind the belly button. Take the attention up through the center of the body, through the throat, through the top of the head, right up through the clouds, out of the atmosphere, and plug it into the North Star. Find that plug and unplug and draw all the energies of this galaxy in the universe all through the top of the head. This universal energy, feel that the top of the head opening like a peony rose, so that all the energy of the galaxy can flow through the top of the head, through the throat, opening and dropping the shoulders, behind the sternum, behind the belly button, down to the perineum. Give a circle. Imagine that beautiful ball of energy. Might even be obsidian. What kind of color is this ball of energy for you, Jennie?
It feels like a kind of ball of like a sun, a ball like like the sun in a mini ball, you know, orangey yellow.
Lovely. So we're going to pack, gather, and store that. So now rotate the other way. Imagine drawing all that energy in and bring it into that beautiful ball of warmth and golden sunshine that can radiate through the hips, the perineum, and right to the kidneys. Right over the belly. Take a breath, exhale. Become aware of the room around you, the sounds of the room around you. And how are you doing, Jennie?
I feel amazing. Yeah.
Great.
Feel
Great.
really relaxed and sort of giddy at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. So keep coming to that point. You've got, I think for you, it doesn't it's different for everybody, but I think that the points for you really like pairs. They like the connection.
Yeah.
So kidney 3, kidney 7.
Yeah.
Kidney 1, liver 3, you know, the webbing of the feet.
Yeah.
And spleen 4 and spleen 6.
Okay.
So those are the points for you, together with the fish oils.
Yeah.
That you want to be taking, and also to make yourself a rosemary blend, and just to click into there and just have a little chat with the feet and with the eye, with that obsidian eye that you saw. And I think I'm going to also make a different video for you, which is just around plantar fasciitis specifically, because I felt that that would be more of a demonstration video, whereas this was more of a guided communication and connection. Right?
Yeah, just getting in touch with your own body and
yeah,
amazing. I never made the connection between my feet and any kind of stress or accident before, even though I'd be very in tune with all the other parts of my body. I just never connected those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I would be interested if you would be willing to book another one of these Ask Me Anything.
Yeah.
I think do these points for about 3 weeks and then let's set up another one and see how it goes. And maybe there's something more around the neck, but I felt that it was really, or your body told us, not that I felt, your body told us, actually, we need to start with the feet. And how time flies. How time flies.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. My God, I wouldn't have thought that was the time at all. Wow.
I know.
Yeah, that was amazing, Joanne. I'll book in for 3 weeks' time, and I will definitely be massaging my feet and massaging those points with the lovely rosemary tincture as well.
And everybody watching then will be able to follow along with Jennie.
Exactly.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to also share, because it takes a certain kind of courage and openness to do that. But remember, if I'm now talking to the people who are watching the video, if you're doing this work, remember that me and Jennie are doing it, but if you're watching it, it's also changing your body at a cellular level, just being part of this connection. We have all felt that kind of trauma and perhaps menopause symptoms, and we can connect in with the points, so it's not just a passive. Jennie is almost taking the role of you, so join in and see how it is for you. So we wish, may you be happy and may you be well. May I be happy, may I be well, and may all beings everywhere be happy, safe and well. Take it easy.
Thanks, Joanne.